My name is Moussa Ibrahim. I was the press secretary and the spokesperson for our great African leader and martyr, Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. In 2011, NATO, with its power, came down on us, murdered tens of thousands of our men, women, and children. We fought bravely for 8 months, and then they overtook the country of Libya, which until this day, in 2025, remains divided, conflicted, and lacking in sovereignty. Gaddafi, when he spoke to me and gave me his directions as to what to say to the media and how to discuss the war at the time, he always reminded me that the cause of that war was Gaddafi's Pan-African project of liberation. In Libya, we were building the African Central Bank and preparing to issue the African United Currency, the Afro, and we were also training and building a unified African army, and we were already releasing satellites, African satellites in space, to serve African internet and news media. And Gaddafi spoke loudly and said, Ethiopia must be the center of this African project. And I'm not saying this because I stand before you today. He had 4 or 5 places that he believed represented the history, the spirituality, the economy, the politics, the courage of Africa. And Ethiopia was one of them. Many people don't know this, but because of Gaddafi, we studied the history of the Battle of Adwa, which we called Adwa in Arabic. And we knew about the courage, the bravery of the Ethiopian people. But Gaddafi, in our education system, made sure that we draw one lesson from the Adwa battle: unity. Yes, of course, we can talk about the courage and the bravery of the men and women of that time. But you can be brave and be defeated. There's nothing wrong with that. To win, you have to be united. Unfortunately, even cowards, if they unite, they win. And that's the reason our brothers and sisters at the end of the 19th century in 1896 won, because they had bravery and they united. All the tribes, ethnicities, groups came from all around the land of Ethiopia and fought together. And this is the lesson we should take today. When we seek development, when we seek improvement of our living conditions, when we want to build our economy, it's wrong, dear sisters and brothers, to think as an Ethiopian, or as Libyan, or Nigerian, or Senegalese, or Egyptian. We must think as Africans. Yes, of course, we pay attention to our nation state, and we look at the problems under our feet and we try to solve them. But these are short-term solutions. For Ethiopia to develop and become secure against conflict, against war, against even ethnic conflict, Ethiopia must be the center of a Pan-African project of development. Even the great dam that we visited today, which impressed all of us, we loved it. We became emotional when we saw it today. This dam cannot achieve its full potential if it remains Ethiopian, only Ethiopian. It must serve all of the neighboring countries. And Ethiopia has the heart for that, has the history for that, and fortunately has the leadership for that. We had an audience with His Excellency the Prime Minister last night that went on for 3 hours, only him and us. And we talked about how important it is to seek a united Africa, not united only in spirit or song or poetry, but in actual hard economics. So I call upon you, teachers, students, researchers, especially the youth, the young that we speak to today. Never trust the path that your country is taking. if it is not apart from a unifying project for Africa. In Libya, we were developed. We had one of the strongest economies in Africa. If you go, please do that. Go to the United Nations Human Index, the most trusted index to judge human development and economic development in any country. Do you know what African country is number one? Libya. Just before we got destroyed, we were the best in Africa, which tells you it is not enough to be the best in Africa if you are not the best with Africa. So my word for you today, a man who fought against foreign powers, a man who buried his brothers and sisters and comrades in the ground, in the desert. Do not trust the nation state. I know this might be not very diplomatic, but I'm here today as the student and son of Gaddafi, with the sons and daughters of our great leaders. And by the way, we are many. So in addition to our sisters and brothers here, we have the family of Patrice Lumumba with us, the family of course, Patrice Lumumba of Congo, and Samora Michel of the Mozambique, Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, Amir Cabral of Guinea-Bissau, and Nasser of Egypt, and others, and Nelson Mandela of South Africa. So, as revolutionary sons and daughters of revolutionary leaders, we are not here to be diplomatic. Yes, we loved what we saw in Ethiopia. Not just the achievements and the dam and the university here and the infrastructure. I came here to Addis in February, and in only a few months I could see the change taking place. But I advise you, dear sisters and brothers, to seek a unified African project. Push for it. As I know it's not easy, but push for it and believe in it. And this is the only security that you will leave behind you to your sons and daughters. Otherwise, you will leave them with a future that is weak and fragile, because it's built on a nation-state philosophy that cannot withstand the modern world. If Germany, a superpower, cannot stand alone, and it's hiding behind the European Union, if China cannot stand alone, and it's hiding behind its East Asian bloc, if Russia is seeking alliances everywhere, if the States is within NATO, with European countries, how can Ethiopia or Libya or Nigeria or South Africa or Egypt stand by themselves? So my message for you today, sisters and brothers, is unity. Pan-African project for development